When you need a mortgage, don't stress at all. Just tune right in and give these guys.
Good morning, YouTube. Today is March 3rd, and Tommy Boy, this is March. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, fellas? Good morning.
What is up? We made it.
It is March Madness already.
March Madness, baby. I'm ready. We got the conference tourneys starting this week for some of those mid-majors, and yeah, we're ready. We're going to support RMU here this year. RMU is our team. We need them to get out of the tournament and get into the big dance.
My alma mater. We've gone there a couple times, generally a 16 seed to get crushed. But yeah, let's go. RMU. Anth, the weather broke, and it looked like you turned into a construction worker at your house.
It did, man. Just redoing projects, man. So redoing a patio, and I was almost done. I'm halfway there, and it's raining today, so I had to get it covered and all that good stuff. So hopefully by the weekend.
Well, I think after this crazy winter, with the weather finally breaking, people are getting out. They're getting pre-approved. They're looking at homes. They're doing projects. They're asking questions. So it's just the perfect time to continue our mini series about cost to buy a home, because again, we continuously hear about on the mortgage side, man, your closing costs are so high. Your closing costs. When yes, we show all the costs in the transaction, but they're not all mortgage costs. And there's a ton of variables that can come in, and we're going to start getting into some of those variables today.
Yeah, going over some of the costs on Friday. We're just going to continue with that. I think it's going to be pretty eye-opening to some buyers to see these different costs and what actually goes into it. I mean, it's very important to know all those title costs, all those transfer taxes, and those other types of fees are non-negotiable. Those are just the cost of buying a home. So, there are only certain variables we talked about a little bit on Friday. There are some more variables that we'll get into, but today shows mostly fixed costs. So let's get into it.
And Anthony, what we have to discuss here is it's an estimate that you get when you're buying your home. Not all estimates are created equal. So you as the realtor, and you're helping your buyer look at items, you need to decipher what's a real estimate, what's a fugazi estimate.
Yeah, I mean, it's more important than people realize, and it's unfortunate because if an agent turns a blind eye to costs that are accelerated or increased more than they should be, and or not even shown enough, the only person that's being hurt is the buyer. Not all loan estimates are going to be created equal in the fact that, it's very simple to give an estimate. A lot of people will not give an estimate to prohibit the client be able to shop. I mean, that's very unfortunate. But looking at the costs of what your buyer, I mean, everybody wants to be a loan officer. It's amazing, but they don't want to be a loan officer when it comes time to actually review costs. And it's a very important part for a client to buy a home.
And we are going to talk more about it. We talked about specifically the origination fees last time. And Anth, if you want to pull up the loan estimate, again, loan estimate is a document all buyers should be asking for. They have to receive it within 3 days of mortgage application. And we're going to get into it a little bit here more. So we went over the yellow sections on Friday. So if you missed Friday, go back, watch Friday's episode. These are where you're going to find your lender fees specifically. And I apologize. I got a puppy that's going to go crazy. Tommy, why don't you take it over here? Let me get back in here. He's going to
share that screen for me, baby. Share that screen.
Hit the wrong button.
What puppy was that, by the way? That panda or bear? Or panda bear?
That's bear.
Bear. So these next title section we have here, some of the title fees. And most of those, depending on which title company you are going with, are going to be the same. Title company to title company are allowed to change their fees as well. And it is the buyer's opportunity or ability to shop those title fees as well. Most of the time, we will have some recommendations for you, the real estate agent as well, but it is ultimately the buyer's decision to shop around. You cannot shop for the services within those title companies. However, you are allowed to shop for your title company. So these are different fees that we cannot change as the lender, and it is title company and title company. We always want to make notice of that large fee because that is the one that we get asked questions about the most, and that is the lender's title insurance. We could do a whole entire episode on title insurance. It covers you from liens on the property or somebody saying that they still own the home. There's a lot that gets covered under the title insurance, and maybe we get a title rep on here one day to help us with that. But that is the biggest fee. So that is the one that is questioned the most. I have a little title rate card right here. This is where we get those fees. Everything's broken down by the hundreds, or 1,000. So, that is not something that we're just throwing in there randomly. That is a state mandated fee for the title insurance. And we're just following that either enhanced or basic. But most of the time we are quoting the enhanced to cover that buyer to give them much better assurance.
Tommy, but the big thing is here too, and Anth, you can chime in here. If you do work with a title company buyers and you got some sort of unbelievable setup where fees are being waived, let us know, because we're only estimating title fees, and every company's fees are fixed, but every company's fees can be different. We obviously cannot guess what the title company you're going to work with, what their fees are.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to note, like, some of these fees are fixed. I mean, if you're getting a loan for financing to buy that home, endorsements are required, closing protection letters required. A bring down is if, they need, their title is older than 30 days. They got to get a re-up on that in the lender's title insurance. I mean, it's a fixed cost. And no matter what lender you use, that's state mandated. So that title insurance is going to be the same regardless of the lender you're using, depending on which one you choose, whether the basic or the enhanced, which the enhanced ultimately covers more long-term. So.
Yeah. And that's literally, your choice of that title company. You can do the research as the buyer. As an agent also, you're watching this video, you're allowed to do research. You're allowed to see what your title company's charging that you love to use. Maybe you've never done that, which is a mistake, but you still have time to fix your mistake and look and see what these title companies are charging. They are not all made equal, but you are not allowed to pick and choose a certain product from one title company and another. You have to use all of their services. So it is very important to know their cost. And no, they do not all cost the same.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And how often do we get questions of, hey, why are your title fees so high on your estimate? Right, Anth? We get that all the time. Hey, Section C, those fees seem high. We have nothing to do with those fees. Those are all title fees. It's going to be dependent on what company you work with.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly have templates that we use for standard costs for companies that we typically do business with. Ultimately, if there's a different outside title company that's being used, those fees are going to be very generic because we have no clue what that attorney's going to charge, what that specific title company is going to charge. Those fees are going to be completely different. So we won't get that information until we get the title as well as the title cost from the title company directly further in the process. So, they very well could change, and the information we're providing is an estimate. And I think that's very important.
Very, very important to understand what you're getting at the beginning is the estimate. And the only thing that we can control are Section A and B in that interest rate. So everything else is going to be the same no matter what you end up picking, what title company you end up working with, where you buy for transfer taxes, what the escrow ends up being. That all is going to be the same no matter what lender you use. It doesn't matter how it's quoted on the estimate. So next episode is going to be the biggest episode where we show the variables and where we show how those scummy loan officers trick both real estate agents and buyers to show artificially low costs that are never going to be there just to win over deals.
I can't wait to expose the scum of the earth. And also on Friday, we'll be rolling out that to expose the scum. We're also going to be getting rid of the scum this Thursday as trigger leads go away, finally.
Oh, that's this Thursday.
This
Thank the
Thursday.
Lord.
6 months in the making here. We are finally getting rid of the scumbag trigger lead loan officers. So your clients will not be getting called after I pull credit on them 900 times.
I'm going to get my scrub and bubbles and get ready for Friday so we can get that scum out of here. I will see you boys at the end of the week.
See you guys.
Tom, Ryan, and Anthony